If God feels distant to you right now, you're not alone. All of us, even in our strongest moments, have this place in us where it's like, God, I wish I had a sign right now. I just feel uneasy. I don't feel at rest. I just feel that's all completely human and completely normal. Sometimes God uses distance in our feelings to call us deeper in our faith. And I thought it was important to say that right now, because while we're having to keep physical distance, I believe that God is calling us to spiritual depth. See, I don't want to just get through it. God, don't just get me through it, but teach me. There's something about distance. Graham said, why did God do all the miracles back then, but he doesn't now? It's not that God does less miracles. It's just we see them better in the distance. We see it better in the distance. It's like, God, why won't you do a miracle while you're watching me preach on your phone? This is a miracle. You see, like right now in this moment, take a breath. It's a miracle. Think about all the sin that he canceled. We're talking about everything that was canceled. I'll tell you what was canceled. The record of wrong that stood against me that he nailed to the cross, and I bear it no more. So it is well with my soul. I looked at my portfolio for finances. It wasn't well. But then I looked at my soul and I found out he's still with me and he's in me. And there's some kind of hope that comes rising up to the surface. When God feels distant, he isn't. He's positioning you for a miracle.
Because love will take you way further than the law ever could. I'll prove it to you. Let's say your child is in a horrible accident. Let's say they bust their head wide open on the monkey bars. And they fall off the monkey bars. And monkey bars are like 30 feet high. I'm making this an extreme example. And they fall down and they bust their head wide open. And you scoop them up and put them in the car to get them to the emergency room. And on the way to the emergency room, every sign you see says, speed limit. How much attention do you pay to the numbers beneath the speed limit in that moment? Those numbers mean nothing to you. Why? Because somebody that you love is in trouble. And in that moment, any parent will break the law for the sake of love.
For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous.
Any human parent will break the law for the sake of love. And what will really turn your heart to God is not when you hear his laws, which were given for our good, by the way, but they were powerless because there wasn't enough leverage in our action to keep the law. So what God did when he sent his son, and this is why we get excited in church, and this is why tears fill our eyes when we think about Jesus, and this is why the gospel is still good news in the world today, because God broke the law for love. I said to every sinner, God broke the law for love.
Think not that I am come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments, and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
Serve so that other people can meet Christ. If you know Jesus, I am sorry to break it to you, this church is not for you.
Perfectionism is when you need to be the best. I gotta be the best. That's rooted in a competitive spirit, which does not come from God. But excellence doesn't say I gotta be the best. It says I want to bring God my best. I want to bring God my best. Excellence. Are you excellent at what you do? It's not enough for us to just claim that we're living for God. we're supposed to grow in our gift so that we can show the glory of God, the goodness of God, the excellence of our God, to declare the praises of our God. How great is our God, and how will the world ever know how great He is if His people don't do what they're called to do with an excellent spirit? What you are is God's gift to you. What you become is your gift to God. Excellence, excellence. If it's for God, it ought to be good. If it's for God, we ought to work hard at it. If it's for God, it ought to matter to us. If it's for God, we ought to do it. We ought to do it better than somebody who's doing it without God.
See, God works through your weirdness. God works through the stuff that doesn't seem to go together. The thing that makes me weird to you makes me wonderful to God, because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And if you'll follow Him and trust Him and be diligent where He put you and serve Him with excellence where He put you, and trust in the uniqueness of how He made you. You know, the scripture says that all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to His purpose. So God will take the conflicts and make them work together to complete your calling. I'm speaking to somebody today who's conflicted. You've never made sense to yourself. You can't reconcile this with that. You can't reconcile what you've been through with where God said He was going to take you. But I want to announce, you're a harvest and a warrior. Nothing is wasted in God's economy. He's making something out of what you went through. He's bringing it together with what you're going through, and He's going to put it all together, and it's all good. It's all good.